What's up, guys? This is WhatADay Films. I'm Dorian.
And I'm Jack.
And today we have a video game trailer for you guys. We're going to review Injustice 2 trailer. It just dropped a few hours ago, and we're going to check it out, see what we think. And before we do that, let's give you a little background. I don't know much about the previous Injustice game. I didn't play it personally, but Tyler here, he
played it.
So
I'll try to give you not too much of a spoiler review. So basically, this version of it is in one of those alternate realities, in which case Superman ends up going bad, and they have to bring the other heroes from the first dimension over to stop him on his tyrannical reign. He ends up actually killing some people, which was, a big deal because, Superman doesn't do that. And it ends up being Batman who overall brings the first Superman over to save the day and everything. So Superman was the big bad in this one, in the first one, so I'm hoping that the second one's going to be, somebody a little bit bigger, so that way it's a bigger threat and everybody has to band together like in the old stories.
Sweet. Sounds like a cool story. So I guess now that you guys know a little bit about us, let's get this trailer rolling.
Peggy 16. Savior. Monster. Guardian. Vigilante. The preservation of life. So often, the justification for taking it. Humans, elevating those that keep guard until they watch too close, and the so-called hero condoning the very act he would condemn. Transgressions of the past shape actions to come.
Flashback. Looks like a flashback.
As offspring turns into adversary, yesterday's loss leads to madness. And God becomes tyrant, becomes outcast, becomes dust, as factions dissolve and fall, and lust for power enslaves all. Such folly and futility in the grand design. Curious how lines once clearly defined become blurred. Perhaps it is time for them to be redrawn.
Sweet trailer.
Yep. Yeah, it looked pretty good.
Yeah. What'd you think about it? You being the expert.
Well, I definitely wouldn't call myself an expert, but before I put my opinion in there, I definitely like to listen to what you have to say and what you saw based on not knowing too much about the first game.
I mean, it looked pretty solid. Like, I couldn't tell those were cutscenes or gameplay,
It looked like cutscenes to me, based on the first game.
But, I mean, if the gameplay is anything close to that, I think it's going to be a pretty cool game. I mean, the story looks like it's pretty in-depth.
Yep.
Yeah. I'm excited to see what they do with it. I'll probably check it out because I know you're going to get it.
Oh yeah, I'll definitely have it. Yeah, I mean, just to expand on what you said, those definitely look like cutscenes from the storyline based on the first game. It looks like they've definitely, of course, with the newer times, brought up more better gameplay features and the way it's going to look as far as the story goes, which is going to be nice. Definitely the costumes look a whole lot more intricate. Looks like it had a lot more moving details, which is going to be really cool. As far as the depth of the story, the first one was immensely in depth, even though if you just played it straight through, it took you maybe 2.5 hours at the most to just play straight through it, just because it was point A to point B type game. But even then, it had so much detail to it that hopefully this one will expand on that even more. Some of the cool parts that I saw, it definitely looked like Superman's holding what looks to be definitely Lois Lane, because they brought the picture from the ultrasound of what was going to be his kid from the first game that Joker killed. So bringing back some of those points definitely makes this kind of have a feel that maybe they're going to have some prequel aspects to it.
Yeah.
Definitely showing some gameplay of the scenes between Supergirl and Wonder Woman, Batman and Superman. What maybe transpired immediately after, and how Superman started to put the factions into the two, and he started to go on his reign of terror, from what they called it. But overall, I think it was really cool to see that him locked up, and maybe Batman's starting to like they said maybe lose some of his aspects of what makes him Batman by condoning certain behaviors that normally he would condemn.
Yeah.
Just like the trailer said. Talking about that, the voice who was the voiceover for the whole trailer, if you paid attention to the end, is definitely Brainiac, which is really cool. Yeah, he's one of the best Superman villains that ever came out. He his whole aspect is he was created as a machine, and his whole purpose was to learn and to adapt within himself, kind of like the biggest artificial intelligence.
Yeah.
There's other iterations with him being his own sentient being, as well as possibly its own alien race type thing. But I think when it comes down to it, he's more or less just a computer, more of a binary organism. I think is the best way to put it. A whole lot more depth and stuff to him that I'm not going to go into. But he travels the universe, searching for stuff, searching for information, learning from it, and likes to, in a sense, almost play God. He likes to see things and say, that's not the way things should be run based off of what I found, and so I'm going to fix it and do it the right way. So it looks like what's going to happen here. It's going to, I'm hoping that it's going to be after the events of the first game, due to the fact that they can maybe break Superman out and retain some of his old justice. That would be kind of a nice coming around story for Superman. But I definitely think the biggest surprise of the trailer was very very end there. You got to see Darkseid for the first time. And do you know anything much about Darkseid?
Not too much.
Darkseid. So basically, there's another world a long way away from Earth called Apocalypse, which is in a sense an iteration of Hell, which is ruled by a tyrant godlike figure called Apocalypse, or not Apocalypse, excuse me, by Darkseid. And Darkseid, his main goal is to just conquer other worlds and just show that he is the biggest bad guy out there. And generally in the comics, he is one of the biggest. I think one of the only other ones that are on his par as far as power is Anti-Monitor and stuff. They recently had they've had a big falling out here in the comics, which was definitely a good read. It's called the Darkseid War. DC Comics' Justice League storyline. I definitely advise you guys to check that out. But he's basically just a world conqueror, and he's gonna look like the bad guy is gonna be coming up here shortly in the DC films and stuff. So it's definitely a good time to jump on him and learn who he is. But he's basically the same thing as Thanos in the Marvel. If you guys have been keeping up with Marvel movies and stuff, he's the same type of character as Thanos. So it's gonna be interesting to see. Hopefully them all have to band together and fight them. But there looks to be like a whole new slew of characters that are definitely gonna make everything interesting.
Awesome. That was a great explanation of the game. Gets me pumped up excited. I hope it gets you guys pumped up excited. But anyways, thanks for watching. If you guys liked the video, like, comment, subscribe. Anything helps. And if you have any suggestions, just hit us up and have a day.